he has had a very phenomenal couple of games. His Tsukuyomi solo comes to my mind. Like, he's had some really great performances, and I think that's something that they're going to have to rely on here. This King Arthur's a good pick for him. But the solo lane, look, yeah, like they can hard carry, but it's not always the end of the game.
Oh man, airstrike and then a couple autos is all Zapman needs here, but it's a pillar from Vote, and Vote might now be the sacrificial lamb as Neoma blinks back over the wall, looks for the stun out, the turnaround from the Warriors to get first blood. What a play! That's what I'm talking about. That's what this duo lane can do. That's what their names bring to the table. Scarabs do end up getting one back, but until Vote on the other side grabs one as well.
I think that's a great pickup, though, for Vote more than it is the Scarabs. Now, look, again, I'm going to say it. I think the Scarabs, and I would argue whoever wins this set, is probably going to be the one that ends up going forward. As now it's Layers who's going in there into Dardas. That's going to be a very easy pickup. Narrow, though, to escape. But I think whoever wins this gets to go to playoffs. Whoever loses this, I would argue, is the one that doesn't, right? And again, like you said, there's still...
No, and you know, this is the type of group gore. I don't think too far-fetched. I mean, we're really getting into more analytical conversation here as far as group stages and stuff goes. I mean, if this group ended up the top team being 3-0 and then 2-1 and then 1-2 and then 0-3, just straight top to bottom, I don't think that would surprise anyone, you know? I think
not at all.
That could be the type of group that we see here. So just to further our point, very important here between the Oni Warriors and the Solar Scarabs. The stage secured by the Solar Scarabs, and inbound will rotate over to pick that one up. Unfortunately, not really much the Warriors can do about that one. Zapman gets his beads burnt on the back end, so small consolation prize, but remember, Vote had to use his beads just a bit earlier on. But now Cubo Fred being looked at, deleted by Layers and Baronic. Blinked and you missed it, and Cubo Fred shuts his eyes for the next 25 seconds.
And that's going to make a lot of openings, potentially for Layers even, to get aggressive here. At least into the jungle, you can already...
Name into that hat, or into the ring as well. Neoma takes about half of his HP, but with the way that this build goes, you get some early stacks on that Charon's coin. What looks like a little flat penetration, maybe Spear the Magus after that. Baronic's going to be absolutely swinging, benefiting from early advantages here. Goodbye, Neoma, as the Solar Scarabs bring 4 to the purple buff once more and find an opening kill.
What a good Riptide from inbound. Even though that doesn't kill off Vote, it forces him to awkwardly leave the situation.
Here, good ward coverage over there on the Oni Warrior side of the jungle, so this Kilcullen will feel plenty comfortable contesting blue buffs as they come up.
And buffs that need to be contested. This purple Zap forced to run away here. I don't know if he's going to get out.
He has beads, but I think smart not to use them. That's a 3-man collapse. Cubo Fred finally makes his way to the left-hand side. An ultimate used by Vote and Cubo Fred there. Neoma holds on to his. That'll buy a little bit of space there for Vote. It's a 1-level deficit here, so I think a great pick to give to Vote.
I think a little bit of revenge in there as well. Vote the other day got 0 and maybe 1 of his purple buffs in an entire set versus the King, so definitely feeling like he needs to defend that one. And now they're getting aggressive on the Warriors.
Watch out, Cerberus does decent damage, and Dardas follows up with the setup on the inbound with the kill of his own. And now it's a Thunder Crash in to silence out Layers, and the Oni Warriors have come to play. SOT trying his best to duel out with the Oni Warriors here, but he is all alone. It'll chase down Dardas, but the Raijin escapes around the corner. Zapman joins from the left-hand side of the map, and the auto attack's enough to help SOT pick up one onto Cubo Fred. And now it's the Oni Warriors, despite some early picks, turning tail.
I was ready to give SOT a little bit of hell, man. I had no idea why he was staying with that, but Zap rotating in perfectly, using that Jingwei passive to close the gap on the map. Something you're used to seeing with like the Chernobyls of the earlier portion of the season.
Whoa!
Over on the left, right now, they're getting aggressive on a tier 2.
Zap dashes in, grabs a kill, a double right around the corner, finds the auto attacks. It's a double kill for Zapman. Nika looking for the last bit of damage, and SOT steals the third, but what a play from the Solar Scarabs. Hunter 3-2-3 now. On the Jingwei, a tier 1 tower goes over and left, but it's an FG pull now.
Cubo's not going to be here in time. That is great play from the Scarabs, a really good retaliation. Like I was saying, I was going to give SOT a little bit of hell. I had no idea why he was sticking into that fight, but that rotation from Zap comes through at what I would argue now was the perfect time, and as you had highlighted earlier, when he didn't burn his relics in that gank over there in duo, pays off dividends here, gets the 1 kill, uses his ult, drops down, but watch the Aegis timing if it shows that right here he goes into that Aegis.
The background holding onto those Taiko drums, that'll be a big burst of damage, but it's a bit of a soft defense here. Everyone stays alive. SOT uses the beads, he'll stay alive, despite the Stygian Torment from Numa.
I like this positioning, this aggression. I think it's a good opening, but they only have 20 seconds to work with here. It's very dangerous.
Whoa, Vote with the Desert Fury, the last bit of damage grabs Zapman, and here come the Oni Warriors. This is what I meant by risk-reward layers. Piercing Moonlight, the last tick of damage. Gets it on the Cubo Fred, but it's put the Tsukiyomi in a bit of an awkward spot, and who else but Nika to grab the double kill? Could it be a deicide 21 minutes in? Stun, locked down onto Baronic. The Aegis will save the life of Merlin a little bit longer. Inbound through his own Riptide. Back into the backline. Nika with 3, Vote with 2. Deicide for the Warriors.
I mean, that's going to be able to get a lot for him. They might.
Free will be back in around a minute's time here. What's really tough there, you know, Dardes still has both of his actives, Vote does not. Similar circumstances for the carries on the Scarabs. Baronic has nothing to work with. Zapman only has his Aegis that he had to use just now, and now Nika chasing down Zap, who will barely survive thanks to the airstrike. And look at Layers into the backline he goes thanks to the piercing Moonlight. Dardes keeps himself in the fight. Aegis gets used by the Raijin as SOT lets out a roar, but Nika back in on the chase down. Cubo Fred looking for the re-engage, but immediately right back out.
But that's where inbound comes in, right? Healing coming from this Yamoja. Zap as well, being able to live through that. Gets to back, full bar, come back in. Jingwei passive. He's back in the fight easily.
Yeah, good point.
He can get aggressive on that.
Whoa, crits flying through, and Neoma eating most of them. Vote locked into place, but will leap out and away. But the ice from over the wall gets it. The opening kill for Baronic, but immediately answered back by Dardes. Nika, Cubo, Fred. The pins are falling, and it's the Oni Warriors knocking them down. SOT, he'll transform here. Maybe a saving grace as Dardes gets stunned against the wall. The roar gets the damage, but inbound will go down. It's a double kill for Cubo, Fred, and SOT. The last man standing up against yet another maybe deicide for the Warriors.
I mean, there's 3 left, but 2 are low. SOT doesn't have a lot of damage, but I can see him coming out with another kill here. I don't know. It's going to be a close call no matter what.
What a long brawl this is, but it will be the deicide. 24 minutes into the game, the second one of the game, but still has the lead to get in, find a good Stygian Torment.
What I really like, though, is the Scarabs are playing to the clock, right? They have a minute left now on this Fire Giant. What was 2.5. They've gotten 2 towers with it. It hasn't necessarily been fruitless for the Warriors.
Whoa.
But now they're going to get aggressive. This could be a good fight for the Scarabs.
What a blink by Nika. He's found Zapman alone in the back, but Neoma getting worked down as well. Cubo Fred joins his solo laner. Nika finds the opening kill of this fight. Dodges out the damage from Layers, awaiting out the cooldowns, but the Caltrops will get it done over in mid. Nika still alive, still surviving the stun from inbound. Will set up a kill over for Baronic, and now Vote joins the fight with a Desert Fury, and Dardes sends a volley of damage into the backline. Double kill for Dardes. Vote's got one as well. Big pillar will keep Layers just at bay for a little longer.
Not quite. I don't know. This could. Layers is going to cause a big problem for him, though. He could very easily destroy at least one of these 2 carries.
Oni Warriors in on the Titan. Pivotal game number 1 here to set the pace for the rest of this set. Neoma is low. Dardes has to use the Aegis. Vote still alive, but the Titan doing massive damage. Layers finds the first. Neoma burning away. The body boxer, and it's a double kill from Layers. Layers has got out 3. The game goes on. 29 minutes in. It's a deicide delayed for the Solar Scarabs. Layers comes up big.
Look at that Titan, though. It is so dead. You have to be...
Maybe take a fight. They don't even need a fight. They could just find their way in onto the Titan and maybe get it done that way.
Really fortunate for them that it was mid-Phoenix exposed, but now they're getting engaged on Zap. Zap's looking to get pulled. He has to ult just to stay alive.
Zap didn't have beads. He had to use the airstrike here, but Layers half HP with the piercing Moonlight has found Nika, but I'm not sure that's the target you want, but Dardes sure is as Baronic gets that kill. Nika will pick up one out of the Miracle Man Layers, and it's a 1-for-1 trade. Mid for jungle, but it could get worse as Neil caught in between 4.
I think this is a good
Look
trade
at
for him.
that,
They can
and
continue
now-
getting aggressive. The backs that are coming off, this is what's really awkward, though. Nika's still alive. Look, Nika's 8-2-9. Even ignoring Vote into
To the left, Blink's ready to go for all the frontliners of the Oni Warriors, but Combat keeping them out of usable territory. Slowly but surely, this Phoenix going down, and it will go down, and now SOT finds the backline. Dardes rip-tided back in by inbound. Both actives used, but there's a stun remaining on the back end, and here come the Solar Scarabs into the Titan room and out of the Titan room. Just for now, they'll delay the end.
But you have to look, they just got their fire minions with them. They're going back in, Dave. They want to win.
While the Titan is going down so fast, all eyes on the Titan. The Oni Warriors need a miracle here. Votes found one. Neilmoth's got
What?
another. Is the damage
What?
shot? Are you kidding me? Now the Oni Warriors survive. They've got a deicide minute on the
They
death
win.
timers, and they can go down the mid lane. What the hell is going on, Gore? What is happening?
I mean, like, this is one of those moments. Now you just run it straight down mid. There's a weakened Phoenix there. You knock it down. That Titan, it's gone back up to 3/4 health. You have to stay grouped up here. And you have to do it fast. I mean, 30 seconds. Look, there's still plenty of time to work with here for the Warriors, but
they win, right?
I'm gonna need
They
to.
win.
I'm gonna need to watch that defense again in slow mo. I literally cannot tell you what happened. It was just an absolute.
I obviously
color spill.
couldn't either.
Tipped it over. But look at. I mean, there's no health on there. Look there. That thing's absolutely empty on the top of the mini map. But that is a way to win and a scary, scary proposition. What is that? 3 total deicides that game on the side of the Scarabs, and each one of them felt worse than the one before.
Blink, something like that, kind of turn around those engagements. So I like the Oni Warrior support going for that pick. Wonder how far SOT chooses to chase this. I only wonder because Cubo Fred lurking close by as well. Can Nika bait in SOT for the time being? Yes, it's a 1v1 that becomes a 2v1 as Cubo Fred works his way back into the fight, but Cubo Fred might die here as well. SOT is 2v1 to Nika. Blinks right back through. No one grabs a kill. Everyone alive. No one with any HP, but inbound could tank up this tower. He will not, and somehow everyone lives on, but that sucks, man. I don't know. I don't have great words for it. You think you've secured it there if you're the Solar Scarabs and the Oni Warriors able to pull out the red buff.
Feels like it's going to be a sure thing for you. Now, you almost need these fights. You've been losing experience. They're getting aggressive on the Cubo.
Oh, man, Cubo Fred dead to rights there. So much went down. Fields of Love, Rivers Rebuke. No way Cubo survives. Bronic very low here, but the sustain from the Emoja will keep the Merlin in the fight just a bit longer. SOT's rotated over towards mid here.
It's a little more awkward. I like that Cubo's been playing a lot more hands-on, more aggressive right now. The Circuit took a little while before we really got to see it, but now he's getting aggressive, and it's good for the Warriors, but it might be too aggressive here. Now, Zap not going to be there in time, but Layers is here. No.
Oh, piercing Moonlight will keep Layers right by Cubo Fred, and it's Zapman who ends up grabbing that kill. Now Neoma caught in the River's Rebuke, and inbound will find the second of this fight, and an immediate disengage from the Solar Scarabs. You've got 2 kills by this Gold Fury, you've got the Emoja sustain, but the confidence not there to go for the Gold Fury just yet.
It's just odd enough, and honestly, it's just raw enough, right? That they're going to have to be worried about it, because raw, that was what I was going to talk about. I guess just the outright damage potential he has showcased there against Layers, but I'm worried about that steal potential Dardes brings to the table. Merlin is good at burning things, but Raijin isn't as,
So we'll find the stun onto Layers and find the safety of his tier 1 tower, and I think both junglers have now learned maybe not worthwhile to put pressure over on right just yet, but the Gold Fury started up. Half HP on the objective. You got the confirm of Dardes, should you need it, as Fields of Love goes down, and the Oni Warriors snipe down the damage, and the Gold Fury falls, but so does Neoma in the meantime, as Zapman confirms a kill. But a Gold Fury for your support, Oni Warriors probably feeling pretty good.
There were so many classic Smold means very little, especially because it's not quite, or it's just slightly over 1,000. So it's just in that range where the Warriors can feel comfortable, can turn it into something, but they're going to need a lot more.
Cubo Fred has had a tough game here so far. 0-2 on the Circuit. Inbound getting melted through. Yeah. Dardes won't find the damage. Neoma nearly does all and vote with the snipes. Confirms the kill in the mid lane, and now a very, very low tier 1 tower in mid could be under threat. A little extra sustain from the Ra. I hope this Oni Warriors team walk forward. Bronic has to use the flicker, but now there's no mobility left. Beads and Aegis have to get used. but the pullback does nothing. Vote finds another kill here in the mid lane. You're worried about a 202 Zapman. Vote has equaled that kill count in just one fell swoop.
And now I've got to start, like, this is a conversation I didn't want to have with the Scarabs.
Yep.
It's just making sure all of this kind of stacks up together and becomes a little more fluid for them overall to open up the door.
SOT alone on his own with Dardes and the rest of the Oni Warriors in the mid lane. Now it's River's Rebuke to keep Cubo, Fred, and Nika right where they are, and Zapman with the Fields of Love picks up a kill on the Cubo, Fred, and now Neoma has to use the Stygian Torment just to stay alive, and he'll back away into a little bit of the healing from his mid laner, but a piercing Moonlight chases him down. So our Scarabs have found two.
I mean, I like the fact that the Scarabs, look, if you're going to put two people down, the jungle and the support are two people to put down. If it was all on Neil, throw that conversation I had with you earlier out, I think that they've been able to bounce back. They're not in their own heads. They're just looking for the right opportunities.
Fury started up. SOT, I would say caught out, but he hasn't felt very caught out in moments like this throughout the set so far. Nika swirls through. Oni Warrior secure the Fury as you'd expect, but Vote the sacrifice here, and Neoma will leap away, but only so far as a double kill from Layers flies through. And that's for one Fury here for the Oni Warriors. Felt maybe worth earlier on in the game, Gore, but now you've lost Neil and Vote as well. Cubo, Fred has to blink away.
Vote, he might have brought the Scarabs to water, though. You bring them right to the Fire Giant. They just got 2 kills. They're going to either force you to come in into a bad fight, or they're going to kill the Fire Giant. It's almost a win-win scenario for them. And now they're going to be able to find a lot of pressure because of it.
That's big Fields of Love. It keeps Nika in place, and Baronic finds the damage to burn down the solo laner. We thought that 10 minutes ago a Fire Giant sub 20 would be a far cry from reality, and you're right, Gore. This cost the Scarabs a bit there in game 1, right? They stuck around under a tier 2 and then pushed forward under a Phoenix. So if you get this tier 2, you got to think long and hard about how hard you want to push that lead. Cubo Fred still 5 levels down. His counterpart in Layers looking like he'll be the first in the game to reach level 20, and it might happen on the end of this fight. Where did Zapman's health bar go? My God, Vote! Dardes snipe him down. The opening kill for the Oni Warriors under the tier 2 tower, and this is a familiar sight. SOT with 4 or 5 members of the Oni Warriors.
Could have potentially turned another throw into his team and gotten a win off that. Fire Giant's still something they have to be worried about. I think it's something the Warriors could start up. It's dangerous, though. They just committed a lot of ults to killing off Zap, so I think this is a good fight for the Scarabs to at least contest.
They have Ra, the Oni Warriors do. But Neil is so low here. Nika is not so low here. Layers has to use the Aegis and the piercing Moonlight, but it might send him off towards Neil, but he won't get the chance. Vote has his second kill in the span of a minute or two here, and the Oni Warriors push back underneath that tier 2 tower. Vote will get his back canceled, but no matter.
Just in this part of their jungle, because the mid tower is up, it's so safe, it's a nice little haven for you, that you're allowed to branch off into the jungle a little bit. You can fight here versus left and right where things are a little dangerous. I like the fact that they're making the stand.
And the Scarabs do want to fight here, and it's Neoma who is engaged on. River's Rebuke flies down, and the Fields of Love will not confirm the kill onto Neoma, but he is TK'd from this fight. He cannot participate in the Solar Scarabs know this. That's why they continue to walk on in. Nika rip-tided through thanks to inbound, and it's a piercing Moonlight to fly on in. Baronic grabs the kill onto the King Arthur. Dardes trying to kite away with a little bit of damage. It's a 1-for-0, and the Solar Scarabs on top.
I mean, that's a great kill. Again, harkening back to last.
Likely over on the left-hand side, but they just weren't confident enough just yet. They'll clear out the wards in the FG pit here. Some damage starting to pour into the Fire Giant. A minute and a half away from being enhanced, the word I'm looking for, but might not get there if this fight breaks out the way it is. SOT trades back a kill on a Vote. Both Hunters now down in this fight, but could be a mid laner on the menu as well, as both being chased down by the solo laners. It's a mirrored fight from both teams. Nika finds his target, but SOT cannot, and Dardes continuing to run away as inbound finds the stun, but the healing is enough. As Cubo Fred will taunt inbound right back into the fray. Dardes has enough damage, and inbound sure does not. Oni Warriors find their 3rd kill.
Layers forced to run away, but he's not out just yet either. They're going to collapse in on this. It could be a kill for the jungler.
And then Layers is going to get burned away here as well, and these death timers are long. 20 seconds on Zapman at it. Voda's built in that penetration tree pretty comfortably here. Bluestone's Brooch as well for himself. Titan's Vein going to be feeling good for the Oni Warriors Hunter. in this final fight. Cubo Fred rip-tied it back in. He roots himself in place. Now it's an ult over onto Layers, and Cubo Fred will survive, but it's a beautiful Rivers Rebuke, and that'll be the opening kill. And Gore, the Oni Warriors just have to leave now. They're at a 5v4 disadvantage, and that is going to burn at least a minute or two off this Enhanced Fire Giant.
Key to opening up this fight for the Warriors. Same thing for Zap. Hasn't been able to survive a lot. He's 3-2-6. He's been a good part of these kills. But I think if they can live long enough, it'll be a big difference for the Scarabs.
Nika's found Baronic. Baronic has to pre-beads to wary off the disengage, and Baronic dancing around with all the damage. And the opening kill is there, and it's Nika who's got the Merlin. Dardes gets another. Down goes Layers. Vote survives. Vote lives on. But you can't say the same for the Solar Scarabs just yet. Can he turn around and deal the damage? Oh no, inbound! Wins the fight. That's massive. No tank killer, no objective shred left on the map, but the Oni Warriors might not need it. They've got 3.
Point Cubo's caught up in XP, he's caught up in build, he should be able to fill some of that slot. But look at his build, he's not made for really dealing the damage to something like a Phoenix. They're gonna get 1, but I don't know if they can get more.
It's taking a minute, but the Phoenix is going down. SOT doing his best to defend the objective, unable to do so successfully, except maybe by a little bit of time. And the Oni Warriors got what they came for. And it's finally a base cracked, and the Oni Warriors will turn tail, head on away. Baronic is respawning. Man went over to mid just a moment ago to deal with the fire waves, and he's going to have to do so again. Can you do it quick enough? That small window where the Oni Warriors can maybe get enough damage done while Zapman is over in mid. Instead, it's the fight that is being looked at. Neoma dives solo into the backline. Stygian Torment used, and it's gone to inbound.
Good kill.
But he will not die, and instead Neil will in exchange. Layers finds the opening kill. Layers survives just long enough to help Bards. Minuscule, but nobody on the Oni Warriors is dying. They're all able to escape here. Vote backing away with the help of Dardes. Feels like the Oni Warriors got away with one.
Zap, oh, he's going to be able to catch it. Super stressed out about the mid lane, right? Like, there's so many avenues to victory for both of these teams. At the end of the day, it all comes down to who can engage better.
It's a game of mental toughness at this point. Searing Pain gets not much except for maybe some health away from Zapman here. Fields of Love is down as Cubo Fred found the ever-important pick. No, because Zapman has his Aegis, but Neoma completes the contract, grabs the kill. Layers is able to trade out 1 here. Now the Oni Warriors being corralled into the blue buff pit here. Inbound pre-beads on the end of the ultimate there from Nika. Neoma still in this fight. Dardes full HP on the backline. Could be the difference maker here, but Nika's been left alone, and Layers finds the big kill.
I mean, opening things up perfectly for them. Again, not a big enough avenue where you feel successful, and honestly, like, you're going to win. Even if you get the Fire Giant.
Add some voice lines, and if 10 players have been within a certain vicinity of the FG for long enough without the objective getting taken, he starts like throwing his hands up in the air or something like that, or he says that he's getting bored and wants something to happen. I think the FG could add a little variety into it. Oh, but instead, Baronic deleted. This game might be over already. The Scarabs have no more carries. They've got no more jungler. And with a drop of a hat, the Oni Warriors delete the Solar Scarabs backline. They delete.
Maybe able to come in and save the day. Inbound just trying to get out of this one. But that's already a weakened Phoenix.
What even happened?
With 2 members left, 2v5, I don't know. This is going to be too difficult for the frontliners.
It's going to be incredibly difficult, but the Oni Warriors have their eyes on Solo or Troll, and they will go beneath this right side Phoenix. He's just going to have to go back to base. Neoma will separate SOT from the rest of his team. Inbound will keep the Oni Warriors where they are, and what many would consider an upset, the Oni Warriors have found the 2-0 set win.
Now, they controlled a lot of that game. And my surprise there, as much as it sucks for the Scarabs, I think they showed a lot of elasticity in Game 1, a lot of elasticity there in Game 2. And unfortunately, things fell apart for them. The thing that blows my mind is that they just tied exactly 48 minutes.